We support the most vulnerable communities in developing countries adapt to the impacts of climate change across different sectors based on the country's priorities. We've so far supported more than 100 countries, more than 40 million people around the world in concrete adaptation actions. Adaptation finance is needed very much. So the Adaptation Fund has adopted a very broad range of activities for mobilizing resources. The original main method of raising resources for the Adaptation Fund was in fact an international tax, which was very innovative then more than 15 years ago when the fund was launched. Now, more recently, the Adaptation Fund has been practically supported by governments mostly. We've been lucky to have been supported by more than 20 governments from around the world. It's very understandable that since the need for adaptation finance is so urgently felt in developing countries, that any difficulties in accessing funding for adaptation raises frustration. The Adaptation Fund since the very beginning has paid a lot of attention to keeping its access modalities as simple and straightforward as possible. And we've been doing that in many areas, but for example, our project review cycle is probably the fastest among all climate funds. It is possible to get the project response to the project proposal in 3 weeks, and this is really the fastest that any fund has